I heard shouting by the fence. My heart pounded as I rushed outside and saw two men in cheap-looking uniforms trying to force my 16-year-old son, Ethan, into a golf cart flashing red lights. They were yelling something about trespassing, but I knew for a fact Ethan was on our own land, tending to the chickens and checking the fence line like he did every morning. I ran toward them, rage boiling in my chest. "Let go of my son," I shouted, expecting them to back down. The taller one, with a beer gut and mirrored sunglasses, didn't even flinch. "He's trespassing," he barked. "Pinebrook Reserve has the right to detain violators." "My land isn't part of any HOA," I snapped, telling them to release Ethan and leave immediately. They insisted the area was under HOA jurisdiction. The shorter guy, clearly nervous and glancing over his shoulder, said their orders came from a woman named Gloria. I saw Ethan struggling against their grip. He was furious, but smart enough to keep his cool. He had already started recording everything on his phone. I clenched my fists. "Touch him again, and I'll have you both arrested for assault." My voice trembled with fury. Finally, they let Ethan go. One muttered about calling the HOA president, Gloria, before speeding off in that ridiculous golf cart. Ethan handed me his phone, still recording. He was breathing heavily. "I'm okay," he said. "They tried to grab my phone, but I got it all." I nodded, already planning our next steps. I'd heard whispers about Gloria's aggressive tactics, fines, rules, quiet land grabs. But now it was personal. They stepped onto my land and manhandled my son. They pretended they had authority, they didn't. I felt a fire start to burn inside me. Gloria would probably be here next, armed with her usual nonsense. But I wasn't going to sit by quietly. This land has been in my family for generations. I had the deeds, the surveys, and now a video. Gloria had declared war on the wrong person. She didn't wait long. Less than 2 hours later, her white SUV rolled up my gravel driveway. Rain spattered across her windshield. I stood on the porch steps with Ethan at my side. Gloria got out, wielding a fancy umbrella and slamming the car door harder than necessary. She wore a pressed blazer and carried a thick binder. "Nathan," she greeted me curtly, "we need to talk about your repeated violations of Pinebrook Reserve guidelines." I laughed bitterly. "Ma'am, we're not part of Pinebrook Reserve. This is my farm. It's been ours for decades." "That's not what our updated HOA boundary map says," she snapped. She opened her binder and thrust forward a color-coded document. "The board voted unanimously to annex this perimeter. Your property is now within our jurisdiction." I stared in disbelief. Ethan tensed beside me, but stayed silent. "You can't annex private property with a vote," I replied. "That's not how jurisdiction works." "Our lawyer confirmed it," Gloria said smugly. "If you have issues, bring them up at the next HOA meeting. Until then, you must comply." She flipped to another page. "That shed violates community standards. Your chickens breach noise regulations. Also, you owe $250 for trespassing." Ethan opened his mouth, but I stopped him with a hand. "1. We have video of your security grabbing my son. 2. Our chickens are on our land. 3. Leave now, or I'm calling the sheriff." Gloria's eyes narrowed. "You do that. But I warn you, our association has resources. We can file liens. We can issue late fees. We can make things very difficult for you. This is your final warning." I laughed out loud. Eviction? From a community I don't belong to? That's nonsense. "We'll see," she said icily. "Attend the HOA hearing tomorrow. If you don't, the board will move forward without you." She turned and marched back to her SUV. I exhaled slowly as she drove off. Ethan turned to me, eyes blazing. "Dad, they treated me like a criminal. We can't let them get away with this." "We won't," I said, pulling out my phone. "First step, call the sheriff." Sheriff Tom Delaney was out on a call, but I left a message. I also texted him directly. Then I called Sam Granger, a lawyer who once helped with a property line dispute. Sam picked up right away. After hearing the story, he let out a low whistle. "HOAs can't just redraw lines. That's a county-level thing. Send me everything, and forward any official notices." I felt a bit better after that. Ethan looked skeptical. "She really thinks she can get away with this?" "She believes it," I muttered. Some HOAs act like governments. But Gloria? She's playing dictator. We arrived at Pinebrook Reserve's clubhouse the next morning, and it felt like entering a courtroom. Folding chairs faced a long table where Gloria sat flanked by 4 board members. Behind them hung a gaudy banner with the HOA logo. Whispers filled the room. Gloria banged a gavel. We now open the disciplinary hearing concerning Nathan Hayes' violations of the Pinebrook Reserve Charter. I held up a folder. Before anything else, I have official county records proving my land lies outside your HOA. We are not members. Gloria smirked. That's incorrect. Our board expanded jurisdiction last month. You owe over $3,000 in fees and fines. I opened the folder. Here's the county survey. My land is in an unincorporated area. Not city, not HOA. One board member shifted uncomfortably. Gloria quickly flashed her map. We voted to include your land. Votes don't trump deeds, I replied. Ethan stepped forward. You can't evict us from land we own. Watch your tone, Gloria shouted, banging her gavel. Then the doors opened. Sheriff Delaney walked in, 2 deputies behind him. The room fell silent. Hope I'm not interrupting, he said, tipping his hat. Heard there was an incident involving Mr. Hayes' son. Wanted to ask a few questions. Gloria stiffened. This is a private HOA meeting. That's fine, the sheriff replied. But I'm looking into a possible assault and illegal detention. He held up a report. 2 men acting on behalf of this HOA tried to detain a minor on private property. Is that correct? Gloria fumbled. We have security responding to a boundary alert. I cut in. A boundary you invented. The sheriff turned to her. If anyone impersonated law enforcement or assaulted a minor, that's serious. The board members began murmuring. One stood up, pale and sweating. Maybe we should postpone this hearing. Recheck the boundaries. The sheriff nodded. That's probably wise. Mr. Hayes, if you want to press charges, we'll open a formal case. Gloria slammed her binder shut. Fina, but don't think this is over. I still have legal grounds. We'll see, Gloria, I replied. Outside, the sheriff reassured us. She's out of line. Keep documenting everything. If she crosses a line again, call me. But Gloria didn't back down. Days later, orange notices showed up on my barn accusing me of unsanctioned livestock. We found tire tracks by our fence line and received a thick envelope with threatening legalese. I called Sam again. He chuckled darkly. This is harassment. Pure bluff. Then came a drone. Ethan spotted it buzzing over our yard. It darted around like a spy. I grabbed my rifle and fired a warning shot. The drone zipped off. 2 days later, Gloria's lawyer returned. You destroyed HOA property, he claimed. I told him to leave or bring a warrant. Sheriff Delaney confirmed the drone wasn't registered. Gloria had broken federal law. Then came the tow truck. Ethan texted in a panic. A driver was hooking up my truck, claiming an overnight street violation. On my own gravel driveway. I rushed back. The driver shrugged. Just following Miss Gloria's orders. I called the sheriff, who ordered the driver to unhitch my truck immediately or face theft charges. That night, I told Ethan, we're done playing defense. We're going to court. With Sam's help, we filed a lawsuit against Gloria and the HOA for harassment, trespassing, surveillance, and more. Board members began resigning. Some even apologized. The HOA newsletter stopped. Gloria vanished from group chats. She tried a final counterattack, suing me for emotional distress. But when the judge saw our evidence, he dismissed it instantly and warned her to stop. The war Gloria started ended not with a bang, but with her quietly fading into irrelevance. And my farm? It stood exactly where it always had, free, private, and ours.